In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your Google spreadsheet simulation for the texting and driving scenario. Now, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. I only have a 10-minute limit on this video, and so make sure that you pause, rewind, rewatch anything that you need to during this. If you don't have this image, that's okay, but I'll be referring to this kind of throughout the situation. Now, when we're looking at this, we broke down our texting and driving scenario into distracted, reacting, and braking distances before the pedestrian gets hit. So in our Google Sheet, we're going to break our Google Sheet down into those three different scenarios. Now, when we're looking at a Google Sheet, there's some things that we do to make it easier to understand what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead at the top here and I'm going to label a few things as we go. So our first thing is just a description of a category. We're going to have our inputs, our calculations, and our outputs. And in this case, actually, I'm going to write distances because those are the outputs that we really want. In our first chunk of our scenario, this is moving while distracted. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to say moving while distracted. Okay. Now you notice a few things. First, this cell moves over into the next column. So what I want to do is I want to make this all fit in one cell. So if in between the B and the C, you can double click and it will automatically change that for you. You could also click and drag to do the same thing. Okay, moving while distracted is something that's really important. So I'm going to bold that either by clicking bold, or in my case, I can hit Control B, and that makes it bigger on my screen there. Now we have a few different parameters that are important in this case. This one would say the time while distracted, or the time of distraction. Okay. I'm going to add an equal sign there. I don't really like how this looks. I want to right justify it to the side. And so what I'm going to do is go here and click right justify to move it to the side. So again, that's up here in the corner. I like to click on this one so it moves it to the side. The other important thing is the speed of the car equals, and the distance car moves. Car moves while distracted. Now again, this didn't fit. I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to, again, double click in between there, fix those two. I'm going to select these, and I'm going to right justify that to get that to all fit. All right. Now, a few things for this. Our inputs are the time and the speed in this case. And so I'm going to make these a color to kind of have them stand out. So to highlight a color like this, what you do is you go to the bucket, hit the arrow down, and you can choose your color, and I'm going to be choosing blue. My inputs are also going to be that. So I, again, go to the bucket, click on that, hit there, and I'm going to have that blue. Now my distance the car moves while distracted, that is a distance that we're going to be looking at. And I think distances are important. I'm going to get them, and I want that to be, maybe I'll choose green for this case. And my distances are green. Okay. Now outside of this, I'm going to write in my units. So in this case, this is seconds. My speed is going to be in meters per second. And my distance is going to be in meters. I have those outside of those cells. Okay, now to do this calculation, I want to program this in. And my time of distraction, it depends on the class. You'd have to look into your class, but in my case, it might be 2 seconds. And let's say that our car was traveling about 10 meters per second, which is around 25 miles per hour. To do this calculation, we know that distance the car moves is the speed times time. So I'm going to hit equal sign, and I'm going to do the speed, which was cell C5. You can do two things. You can click on that to do that, or you can type in C5. And then I'm going to multiply by the time, which is the time of the distraction. I can click on cell C4 or multiply there. And when I do that, it should automatically calculate out for me. All right. Again, I don't like how these look, so I'm going to right justify them so that they are right next to the units that are there. Right justify. Boom. All right. In our next cell, it's essentially the same thing, but now it's moving while reacting. So what I'm going to do is I want to write this. This is another important one, moving while reacting. And I think this is important, so I'm going to bold it. Okay, and we have the same kind of parameters here, and I might, in fact, just copy these. Actually, no, that one looks a little different. So this is reacting time. Okay, speed of car, and that with the equals, and the distance the car moves while distracted. Okay, I want to right justify those again, so I highlight them all, and I'm going to the right. All right. My two inputs again, I want these two to be blue, so I highlight and make blue. I want these to be seconds, meters per second. And then this is a distance. I want my distance in this row here in green. And that's going to be in meters. All right. So I am going to leave this to you to program out. The one thing I want to tell you is when you are looking at the speed of the car, now we can just automatically have this collect the speed of the car here, so we don't have to retype it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit equal sign, and I'm going to click up here on the speed of the car here. That makes me automatically take this value from there, and that means I don't have to type it in again. It will have it automatically do it for me. So what I'm going to have you do is you can go ahead and program in the distance while the car moves, and then you can go ahead and watch the next video.